Line feeds. So whether I'm unloading our donations or helping neighbors pick fresh produce,
Is this what you're looking for?
I say take the helping hand when you need it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And be the helping hand when you don't.
Bye.
Bye.
Here to fill tables and hearts with hope. Food Lion Feeds, here for every moment.
Life is about movement, and we're here to keep it that way. At Riverside Orthopedics, our specialists are committed to delivering high-quality care because your health and mobility are important to us. Riverside specializes in treating a wide variety of conditions, offering both surgical and non-surgical solutions, tailored to what is right for you. We'll give you the knowledge you want to make your own choices and the orthopedic care you need to fit your schedule. We've got you covered. Riverside Orthopedic Specialists, always in motion.
It's all about bringing people together, and it's all about dogs.
Dog Day in the drive-thru is a day where we give back to our furry friends.
We hand toys out to dogs and their owners in the drive-thru.
My dogs love this event. Tails start wagging, the heads are out the window.
We also partner with local animal shelters to help dogs find their forever home.
Chick-fil-A knows the heart of the community. You meet new friends, you meet new dogs.
We just love seeing their faces in the drive-thru.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
As soon as you arrive, you'll see it in the people you meet and the way we follow through. At Bowditch Ford, your dealership experience will be one of total satisfaction. Our professional sales associates make buying easy, fast, and fun. And when it comes to service, experience better. From maintenance to repair to parts, collision, even our quick lane, we do it better. Your time is valuable and your dollar's hard-earned. We'll take care of you. Bowditch Ford, a tradition of doing the right thing.
Great vision and healthy eyes are the goal at Peninsula Eye Care. Optometrists diagnose and treat many disorders of the eye and visual system and are a great addition to your healthcare team. We prescribe glasses, contact lenses, and medications to serve you. I'm Dr. David Buck, and if you're looking for a team that will care about you and is ready to listen, come see us at Peninsula Eye Care.
When the sun sets, Newport News turns up. Hit the town for live music, cold drinks, and electric vibes. Catch the game or dance the night away with friends. Chill with cocktails by the water or dive into late-night bites. The city's buzzing, where every night is its own adventure. This is Newport News After Dark.
A yard without mosquitoes is always the most popular yard in the neighborhood.
They're home! Scatter!
Homeowners, consider yourselves warned.
Again?
Mosquito Joe, outside is fun again.
I got another Papa Pairings order. I need 3 medium pepperoni, 2 orders wings, breadsticks, cheese sticks, brownies.
They called the right place, Chef.
This order is my Everest. See you at the summit. We're making you Papa Pairings for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I find other things in life, like ordering more to save more off the Papa Pairings menu. It's all $6.99. We've got a brownie. Why are you whispering?
We're making you Papa Pairings for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
One Life Fitness has something for everyone. From midday movers to sunset shakers. From powerful workouts to peaceful flows. From personal training to personal bests. Whatever your fitness journey, enjoy premium amenities with a supportive staff, all at an affordable price. That's why we're the best value in fitness. Go to onelifefitness.com to join today. One Life Fitness. Every journey welcome.
Hoops. They're everywhere, especially when it comes to banking. Lots of banks offer you big promises with their checking accounts, but there's always a hoop to jump through. At Langley, we don't like hoops. Our Smart Checking offers great features like getting your paycheck up to 3 days early, no monthly fees, and no minimum balances. No hoops, just straightforward banking with Langley. Open your Smart Checking account today.
In life, some things just go together.
like a burger and fries. And home and auto insurance from State Farm. Combine and save.
In Newport News, talk to State Farm agent Jimmy Fay today.
I'm Pastor Grant, and I hope that you'll join us at one of our campuses this weekend. We're one church with locations all across Hampton Roads and online around the world. So if you're looking for a church home that prioritizes engaging worship and Bible teaching, then this church is for you. Welcome home. So you come this Sunday and experience for yourself while we say it's not just church, it's life.
At Primrose Schools, your child's love of learning begins in their very first science lab. It begins by sharing stories with a friend, and it begins with learning about math and ways we use it every day. We understand how children learn and meet them where they are. We use our balanced learning approach to build their social and academic skills to get them ready for kindergarten and beyond. This amazing time in their life, and yours, is the beginning of something big. Learn more at primroseschools.com.
Please give a round of applause for tonight's ball kids from Smithfield Soccer Club. Now the team is starting 11 for the visitors, Ashland Town FC. In goal, number 0, Isaac Gregory. Number 2, Calvin Sanders. Number 5, Trevor Boyer. Number 6, Nicky Agate. Number 8, Bryce Morris. Number 10, Zach DeShasso. Number 13, Jack Leopold. Number 25, Daniel Hayers. Number 43, Carter Newman. Number 70, Matthew Garvin. And number 80, Shane Roach. And now, the starting lineup for Lionsbridge FC. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest joining both teams at midfield. Representing the city, the attending dedicated employees here tonight in attendance, please welcome Newport News Mayor Philip Jones. Mayor Jones is here to look at the official match ball for tonight's referees and help us kick off a great night of soccer at Lionsbridge FC. Thank you, Mayor Jones. Lionsbridge FC asks that we all join together to honor the United States of America with the city of Star-Spangled Banner, Isabella Moore.
Well, summer is starting to show its teeth in Newport News, Virginia. Temperatures near 90 degrees as we get set for this mid-June friendly matchup between the Lionsbridge Football Club and Ashland Town Football Club. And welcome back to TowneBank Stadium in the broadcast booth, always alongside Austin Hirsch. I'm Nathan Epstein. Lionsbridge is still unbeaten on the season, 6-0-3, but Austin, it feels like they're in bounce-back mode after what ended up being a thrilling and, the team would say, disappointing finish against Charlottesville on Saturday. And that would be when Luke Ackerman put in the game-tying goal on a set piece with just 3 minutes gone by in stoppage time. Head coach Chris Wally was, as we said, less than happy after that 3-3 draw, saying they let an opportunity for 3 points in USL League 2 play slip away against a one-win club. So, Austin, it'll be interesting to see how the boys bounce back this evening.
Undoubtedly, you mentioned it was a goal from a set piece, and it was Ackerman who directly took the kick, scored from the kick, and that's their first set piece goal in quite a few opportunities. First set piece goal in 3 games. They've had 19 corner kicks in the last 2 games here at TowneBank Stadium, and they've scored a big fat 0 goals off those chances.
And that's something that Chris Wally talked about pretty much at length during our Coach's Corner segment after the game on Saturday, just basically saying how the set piece action has to be better, not only offensively, but defensively as well, considering that Charlottesville scored a pair of goals on set pieces last Saturday.
Definitely. The defense has been lacking there as well for Lionsbridge, which is very surprising. Of course, you haven't had David Materazzi in the lineup, and he's been a very strong defender for Lionsbridge for the last couple of seasons. But all these other players who are out there are more than capable. You have multi-year veterans who are out there on the corners, in the starting 11, in the substitutions and the reserves. They should certainly know how to defend from a set piece, and to concede 2 almost in a row, basically, against, again, like you and Wally mentioned, a one-win club in USL 2, that just can't be happening, especially when you're in the driver's seat of the division and you drop valuable points like that. Down the home stretch, that could be very pivotal, and do or die basically where you end up at the end of the season.
Both teams set up on the pitch. Lionsbridge in their 2025 home kits with the blue and the black stripes, and Ashland Town FC in the road white jerseys with the black shorts. Again, it is pretty hot out there. This is the first game this season where we're going to see some water breaks, and rightfully so. Temperatures near 90 degrees, and this friendly here at TowneBank Stadium is off and running. And this may be a friendly, but we'll get to see some of the reserves take center stage, and we'll also get to see Toby Maurer get his first starting goal, Austin, as he steps outside of the box for Lionsbridge. And Maurer was supposed to get the start in the home opener against Grove United, which happened to be rained out.
It's one of those really difficult things as a player, especially a goaltender, to start the season. That one taken away by Sam Hall very nearly, as it was Ashland Town who had a good chance, good delivery over on the left side of the field for Aguirre inside the box, but again, Hall getting there first. But it was Maurer who was ready to go at the beginning of the contest, the beginning of the season, first game at home, and then the rain came and it just didn't go away. And we haven't really seen him since, if I'm not mistaken. And good to see him out there today. Hopefully he'll be having his hands full and get a chance to show the coach and the squad what he can really do and add to that goalkeeping depth.
I'm sure if you ask Chris Wally, though, he would hope it's not too exciting back there, given the fact that, again, the last 2 games, it's still an unbeaten record for Lionsbridge. So let's not take too much away from the boys in blue. 6-0-3 on the season, but obviously it was a less than inspiring outing against Richmond United a week ago tonight. And the first ball that sails towards Maurer rolls up calmly towards his foot. And first time tonight, he puts it back in play, puts it right towards Lincoln Ulrich, who's in the lineup from Delaware, Ohio, has 2 goals this year.
You mentioned that game against Charlottesville, and I have a feeling that's going to be a recurring theme, and it's kind of going to be what we compare this game to.
Evan Howard almost caught up to that in the box. Maybe a chance here. And Ashland Town with some pretty decent defense there. This is the 5th all-time meeting between Ashland Town and Lionsbridge, a series where the win-loss tally Austin, may not tell the whole story. In 4 matchups, Lionsbridge is 3-0-1. So they are unbeaten, but they do have that one lone tie coming in 2023. Now, in the wins, Lionsbridge has outscored Ashland Town 11-0, but 2 of those games, only 1 goal scored for Lionsbridge, and once in the tie, that was 1-1 in 2023. And before that, it was only a 1-0 win. So this Ashland Town club has shown that they can be competitive. And Austin, at a time when Lionsbridge maybe trying to find their rhythm, this could be one of those games where they can't be looking back towards USL League 2 play.
And Ashland Town has been one of those teams over the years that we've seen continue to step up and improve. They're another one of those clubs that really loves to have youth talent in their squad, and we see that in the lineup here today with a number of players still in or just out of high school. And that brings, I think, a very interesting competitive edge to the contest, and especially for Lionsbridge. Of course, you have these players who are a couple seasons deep into their college careers and some well beyond that. And then you're playing against some high school kids. The high school kids almost playing with house money. They really got nothing to lose. They'll bring it to you more than you realize. And we'll see how Lionsbridge, especially the defense, can handle it. So it was headed back by Goldsworthy. It's the first time we've seen him here at TowneBank Stadium. Straight to the goalkeeper, and now a good chance for Lionsbridge to try and build some possession, maybe tire some of these young bucks out on the opposition.
I think you hit the nail on the head. When you talk about high schoolers coming in here and playing against guys, some of them seasoned professionals at some level, one level or another, you got to think that, you said it perfectly, these young bucks are ready to show what they're made of, and they're not going to be backing down tonight. We're going to also get a chance to see how the heat is going to play a factor. This is by far the hottest game that we have seen at the bank so far this season, now in the mid part of June, so those summer temperatures really starting to crank up.
And another notable high schooler, well, I suppose he just graduated, is the goalkeeper for Ashland Town, Colby Campbell, wearing the gloves. He's graduated from Patrick Henry High School and playing against one of the most dangerous offenses in USL 2. So certainly a game to add to the resume.
Not that I'm bragging here at all, but I do want to note that 3 of those high schoolers that you were talking about are from my alma mater, Godwin High School. Speaking of which, one of them, Ryan Bousfield, snags that header and prevents a Lionsbridge 1-0 lead.
Yeah, really good stop by the goalkeeper. Really his first test of the contest, able to hold on to it, come down with the ball, and that's certainly a big confidence booster.
First shot on goal, 5 minutes in to this friendly matchup. Bousfield. Oh, and the youngster makes a big mistake, and Howard puts it in! Too easy! Lionsbridge with a 1-0 lead.
Ball with his feet and maybe get around Howard, and just showing a bit of inexperience there. Just had the opportunity to pass the ball out to the opposite side of the field. Instead, keeping it for just 1 or 2 touches too long, and Lionsbridge able to make them pay.
First goal on Saturday against the Charlottesville Blues, 7 minutes in, only took 5 minutes this time around. We were talking about these youngsters, and one of them is in goal for Ashland Town, Ryan Bousfield from Godwin High School. He's committed to play at Eastern Mennonite University next fall. A learning moment for the youngster right there against Evan Howard, who obviously has some pro experience from Newcastle, England. His 5th goal of the season, and it gives Lionsbridge a 1-0 lead.
Howard with a number of goals already this season, like you said, so he certainly has an eye for the back of the net. When you present him with an opportunity like that, it will certainly be one he doesn't want to pass up. And Goldsworthy with a little bit of questionable defense for the boys in blue. However, he's able to track that ball down and get it down to the opposite end of the field.
Looking up ahead for Howard, that one bounces off his heel. Lionsbridge stays with it. Lewis, maybe another thread into the box, and that one knocked over the end line, and that will result in a corner, the first one of the game for Lionsbridge. And this is the part of the game that we have been keeping our eye on, Austin, and something that you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, something that Lionsbridge has been desperately just trying to solve the riddle the last several games.
And I think this is a great opportunity. Wally more than thrilled to have this chance for the guys in a game situation to take this corner kick.
Sends it in the box, and this time Bousfield bounces it away. Excellent goaltending there from the youngster that time.
So another missed chance for Lionsbridge, but if things keep progressing how they have been so far, no doubt they'll have some more opportunities later on.
Gabby Rodriguez tried to turn and go. Good defense there. Other end, it's Hobble. In the box, Rodriguez has that one poked away out of bounds, and it goes back to Ashland Town. One of those goals, Austin, where you talk about Evan Howard's opening goal here. Oh, this one's another chance. Can Howard catch up to it? Headed away, but he stays with it. Still in Lionsbridge possession. Back out to Ackerman, who again had that spectacular game-tying goal 3 minutes into stoppage time on Saturday against the Blues.
And that goal really came at not a second too late, as it's probably one of the last chances that Lionsbridge had. It's their second game-time goal in the 90th minute or later in the last couple of games. The last time was against Nova FC.
Hobble puts a left foot on it, and Bousfield is right there to snag it.
A good grab by Bousfield. Try and bolster some of that confidence, build it back up a little bit. Nice idea with the left-footed shot from Hable.
But what I was going to say about that goal by Evan Howard is that, yes, it's a goal and it's positive for Lionsbridge. However, it's one of those goals that you're most likely not going to see too much of in USL League 2 play. Didn't come on a set play, didn't come on an assist, and this one into the box sent in by Rodriguez. So it's one of those where if you're Chris Wally, you're probably telling your guys, hey, celebrate, it's a goal, we'll get it any way we can, but it's one of those plays where maybe a rarity.
Right, you certainly can't rely on it, and that's not going to be something that you look forward to and count on, especially in important league games and potentially even in the playoffs. As Ricky Lewis gets called for a foul, it looks like, over on the far side of the field. It'll be a free kick for Ashland Town. But again, it was good aggression coming from Howard, an eye for the ball, and that's exactly why coaches will tell you, play to the whistle. The goalkeeper has the ball at his feet. Why not go up there, pressure him, make him make a mistake? He won't always do it, but sometimes when he's able to, you'll be there, you'll be able to capitalize, and you'll put your side in a good position going forward.
Aguier has it taken away. Lewis on the run, sent to the turf, but they play on, no foul called. Almost taken back, still a fight for it. And Ashland Town sends it up ahead, but there's nothing there but blue jerseys. Sent back in goal where Maurer has it. A little back and forth. Oh, that's dangerous. Oh my goodness, almost an own goal from Lionsbridge. We haven't seen a mistake like that from a Lionsbridge club in a long time.
Oh, we saw it though recently this year. It was from Nova FC. They scored. It was called an own goal in that 90th minute in that 2-2 draw against Lionsbridge. Whether or not it was that or Sam Hall getting his head on the ball or something like that. That was the last time we saw a mistake of a similar caliber.
And this is the part of the game that bit Lionsbridge pretty hard in that 3-3 draw against Charlottesville. 2 set-piece goals from Charlottesville. Aguier puts a left foot into it off the corner, and it's headed away by Hall.
Set pieces are one of those really equalizing moments. It doesn't matter how good of a team that you necessarily are or how weak you perceive the other team to be. Great standing tackle to deny Lewis from the defender, last man in front of the goalkeeper, and he certainly came up big that way. Looks like it was number 5 Moyer.
Yeah, Trevor Moyer from Randolph-Macon. Just graduated from Randolph-Macon, and one of the local players on this Ashland Town team. Played his high school ball right down the road at Kickitan High School. So a guy who's making his homecoming, so to speak. With a great defensive stand there. And now it's Dalton Ewing. A little back and forth action. Hall to the midfield. And it was Rodriguez trying to get something moving. Ashland Town, pretty decent defense here. Lewis, all right back, give and go to Lewis, tripped up in the box. And they are going to call a yellow card, and that'll be a penalty kick coming up for Lionsbridge.
Foul inside the box, a penalty kick for Lionsbridge. Last time out against the Blues, there was maybe a questionable call, or rather lack of a call. It was Lewis going down on the edge of the box. He actually was the one that got booked for simulation. Despite there being a little bit of contact, the official thought there wasn't enough to warrant him going down, though, but good job using his speed to get around the defender.
And here comes Hall, the all-time leading goal scorer, up against the high school graduate. Hall, left foot, too easy. Right corner, Hall with his 5th goal of the year, and it's 2-0 Lionsbridge.
Sensational from Sam Hall. You expect nothing less from him other than a perfect penalty kick every single time he steps up to take it.
You got to feel for Bousfield, the goalkeeper. I mean, you talk about a youngster, a high school graduate, going up against the best, or one of the best players in Lionsbridge history. Not much you can do there. And Sam Hall makes it a 2-0 Lionsbridge lead in the 13th minute. A 5th-minute goal from Evan Howard. And after the penalty kick, Sam Hall adds his 5th goal of the year. That is 27 for his career and counting.
I think that's the important thing to keep in mind from Bousfield, that Sam Hall is going to score on basically a day that ends in Y when he comes up to take a penalty kick. So you certainly can't hang your head and be down in the dumps on yourself on that. You have to keep that strong mental attitude and know that he's going to score on almost any goalkeeper that he faces when he steps up to the spot. He has a knack for putting so much power behind the ball and placing it right in the corner, where even if you do guess the right way, you have to absolutely launch yourself with full intention, almost like you know where he's going to place the ball before it even gets taken, and then maybe you have a chance.
And that ball kicked over the end line. Oddly, I thought that was kicked out by Ashland Town, but they say it was knocked out of bounds by Rodriguez over the end line. So either way, it results in a goal kick for Bousfield and for Ashland Town.
You mentioned the point about that first goal from Howard for Lionsbridge kind of being an atypical goal, rather, that you won't normally get from the run of play or anything like that. The penalty kick is the same way. Lionsbridge certainly has players who are adept at picking up penalties, meaning that they have a lot of speed and skill to use on the ball to get around defenders and put defenders in a really compromising position. Is Ackerman able to win the 50-50 ball? They're headed back down the other way, but again, you cannot rely on those to get you your goals.
And it was Ackerman looking for Ricky Lewis. Well defended. Back to Ackerman. Right-footed flick. Back to Lewis, just outside the box. A left-footed strike all the way to the other side, kept in play by Hobble. That ball sent in. Header just floats right towards Bousfield. Not exactly sure that header was placed where they wanted it, or rather the feed was placed where he wanted it, and it ends up being an easy save for Bousfield.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a bit too far behind Rodriguez. Had to really bend around to try and get on the opposite side of the ball. Nice job by him, though, to make sufficient contact and head it towards Bousfield, but I'm sure he'd like another chance at that delivery and also converting on that shot.
Here comes Aguirre, tripped up near that sideline. Didn't hear a whistle, but it was out of bounds either way, and so it'll be a throw-in for Ashland Town. No, so they did say it was a foul committed against Lionsbridge, so instead we get a free kick. Sent in towards the box, and nobody there except a blue jersey. Ackerman giving chase, ball still in the air, finally on the ground and knocked away. Back to Evan Howard, who has the first goal of this ball game. Up ahead, Rodriguez can't quite catch up to it. Calvin Sanders is there to slow down Rodriguez.
That's a really good look from Howard to try and find an open player on the opposite side, bringing it out towards the wing. So as the other forward moves over to get the ball, it draws a couple of defenders over there and opens up the center of the field for more Lionsbridge jerseys to filter in.
Lewis. Left-footed feed, nobody there. Hobble has to chase it down. Retreats and now right back to Hobble. Send to the box and heads away. Ackerman getting very physical down there. Pretty good defense by Shane Roach.
On that last delivery from Lionsbridge, I believe it was Lewis on the other side. That ball bounced basically right at the penalty spot. Not a single blue jersey in the area as Lewis strikes from distance, but it goes well up and over the crossbar. If you're a Lionsbridge player, you don't want that ball bouncing really at all inside the 18 like that. You want to make sure that you're getting there first, you're putting a head on it, and you're able to fully utilize and maximize the space that's out there on the field. Of course, that doesn't mean that you're all just completely spread out inside the 18, but of course, when a cross comes in, hopefully, in theory, it's being sent towards the middle of the box to force the goalkeeper to stay on his line. But really, no one was there for Lionsbridge, so another missed opportunity as there's a foul called against Roach. They're going up for that 50-50 ball in the air in the midfield. Lionsbridge just elects to play it quick.
Lewis and a great feed up ahead to Rodriguez. Catches up to it just before the end line. Lewis has a chance. And that one's deflected out of bounds by Ashland Town, so it results in a corner.
So a positive and also a slight negative there. Of course, Lewis just maybe one touch too many as he settled that ball and then took another touch before finally trying to fire off that shot. However, the good positive outcome, it's another chance for a Lionsbridge corner to make something happen from a set piece. Ackerman heads over to take it. And we'll see if Lionsbridge can curate a little bit of theatrics here and make something happen.
Ackerman sends high arcing feed, and Evan Howard almost heads it in. And that was one of the better looking set pieces we've seen the last few times, even though he couldn't find the back of the net. Still was pretty decent execution there, Austin.
Without a doubt. Howard, one of those tall players out on the field. Looks like he's about 6'5", and certainly jumps higher than that, making it very difficult for him to be marked on a corner if by a player other than the goalkeeper. And when you have a player like Bousfield, who isn't necessarily the tallest, and you have a dangerous delivery like that where it keeps the goalkeeper rooted to his line, Howard can be such a threat to the opposition. We nearly saw it there, and no doubt he'll get another chance here when Lionsbridge are able to pick up another corner kick.
Back in play, and Bryce Morris quickly snuffed out by Lionsbridge. We are closing in on the 21st minute. Maurer facing a little bit of pressure, has to send it away. Evan Howard now showing off the speed, but pretty good defense there by Ashland Town and Daniel Ahrens.
Ahrens doing a nice job to play defensive very physically and just make sure that he's boxing out Howard effectively, drawing the foul, earning the free kick, and almost a get-out-of-jail free card as Howard was right there and really applying a lot of pressure to his back. Very difficult when you're moving towards your own corner flag to find an opening to play the ball collectively to your goalkeeper in a pass that he can then quickly dish out to the other side of the field and escape that pressure.
Zach DeShazo originally won it, but then won back by Lionsbridge. And Rodriguez to the middle, and there were two Lionsbridge players there. Ricky Lewis, and I can't tell who that is, but converges, and I believe that was Ackerman in the middle part of that field. Nope, excuse me, that was Evan Howard. So Ricky Lewis and Evan Howard were both in the right place, I guess you could say, which means, I guess, right place, wrong time. Had it been one of them, we might have been looking at a 3-0 lead for Lionsbridge.
That's one of those situations. I want to deny a teammate who potentially has a better look at things. So it's sort of that half effort going up to challenge the ball. And then by the second you realize that your teammate isn't going for it, you have to commit. But then it's both that awkward little stop and go situation that sometimes you see at car intersections with a stop sign. Someone wants to be polite and let the other person go. And in the end, you kind of just do a weird, awkward two-step dance with each other.
Thankfully, no road rage after that one.
No, all good feelings between those two teammates, as they've certainly been just absolutely piling on the pressure along with the rest of the Lionsbridge squad. So I have a feeling that they're feeling like it just seems like a matter of time when they're going to pick up a goal here.
Lionsbridge playing a little bit of ball control here. Maurer well outside the box. No threat from Ashland Town. Lincoln Ulrich with plenty of space. 23 minutes in, a 2-0 lead for Lionsbridge FC. 5th minute goal from Evan Howard after a big mistake from the young goalkeeper, Ryan Bousfield. Tried to kick it out of his box, and Howard was right there with the quick interception, the tackle, and the quick goal. And then not long after, it was a goal put in and a 2-0 lead for Lionsbridge off the penalty kick from Sam Hall.
And so 2 goals from Lionsbridge. They have the lead, and it's almost like it would be enough. However, as that one is sent over to the right side of the field for DeShazo, tries to send it back in, goes out of bounds for a corner kick, though. Again, another chance to at least pull a goal back for Ashland Town.
Actually, Austin, I think they called that a goal kick because I think that's what Sam Hall was pointing to, and it's brilliant play by Sam Hall. Initially, we both thought that it was going to be a corner, and Sam Hall actually deflected it off of DeShazo. So part of what makes Sam Hall so good, not only offensively, but being one of the leaders on this team, knows how to play defense too. Hobble tries to get it up ahead to Rodriguez, who just wasn't ready for it, and he didn't even give any chase to it.
A bit of a breakdown in communication there for Lionsbridge. Rodriguez standing his ground as that one catches Howard up high. We'll say that one caught the inside of his shoulder, and the linesman on the near side says, "Sir, you've got much bigger biceps." That definitely fell off that.
Yeah, trying to plead his case as we approach the 25th minute, about halfway through, more than halfway through this first half.
And it looks like we'll see a trio of substitutes getting ready to come into the contest for the visitors here, and a hydration break, I assume, soon to follow afterwards. The shadows continue to creep across the field, and I think that breakdown in communication just speaks to the almost intermixing of the squads here that we see today. You see a couple of regular starters, a couple of standard substitutes, and then also some of the reserves in this starting 11.
Lewis gets through a double team inside the box and off the crossbar. Lewis with a rocket, just can't find it.
No, and immediately falling to his knees after that shot. He knows he had a great opportunity. Didn't just beat 1 or 2 defenders, but at least 3 before carving his way inside the 18. He's been so busy on the far side of the field, and he feels like he certainly should have had a couple of goals by this point, and I really agree with him. He's been there inside the 18, making chances, creating chances, but nothing to show for it yet for him on the scoreboard.
Definitely a tough one to defend if you're Ryan Bousfield, but I got to tell you, with how much heat he put on that one, I'm not sure there are many keeps in USL League 2 who could have defended it if it had just been maybe a few inches lower. '26th minute, and as Austin said, no doubt a hydration break is soon upcoming. Foul called against Lionsbridge, and that will bring up a free kick for the visitors from Ashland Town. Hobble wins with a header. Maybe some numbers here if Ackerman decides to run, but he'll slow it up. Looking for Hobble, and it's knocked out of play.
And again, the communication just lacking there between Hobble and Howard. Both of them weren't quite sure if the other one was going to go for the ball. In the end, it just rolls right between them. The defender is able to get there first and send it out of play for a Lionsbridge throw.
Dominique Williams into the game for Ashland Town, playing good defense there, and right back to work. Nice touch passing from Lionsbridge, sent to the middle, still in play. Hobble chasing it, and there was a whistle blown.
So it looks like it's from that challenge just outside the 18 before the delivery came in. It'll be a free kick for Lionsbridge.
So we've seen Lionsbridge on a few corners, and it was not quite the same spot, but opposite side, much closer to the 18-yard box. It was Ackerman on Saturday who put it in. Just about this spot, only closer on the opposite side. And let's see what he decides to do here. Ackerman had his first goal of the season on Saturday. Ropes it over everybody. And it's out of play. And it will be... Haven't seen the official sign just yet, but it looks like it'll be a throw-in for Ashland Town now in the 28th minute.
Yeah, a difficult spot on the field for Ackerman to try and take that one. Of course, you want to put it in with pace towards the back post, try and catch the goalkeeper as he's transitioning from the front side of the goal mouth to the opposite one. However, again, too much power behind it, rolls right through everyone. Now we see a Lionsbridge player on the opposite side of the field warming up. We're getting closer and closer to that 30th minute. All with a picture-perfect header, but it goes right to Carter Newman, player out of Virginia Tech. And again, great job defensively by Lewis as he picks it up right off the defender's foot.
I tell you one thing Lewis has a lot of, and that is speed. You get him on the far side, on the outside of a defender, he's usually going to win that one-on-one just about every time.
And that's been a hallmark of wingers for head coach Chris Wally here. And he had another season for Lionsbridge, captaining the ship for them every single year since their introduction. He almost always seems to have players with so much speed out on the wings, and that makes it so difficult to defend against, especially when you have great passers in your midfielders and defenders who can pick out the corner flag with ease and basically just send a ball down there to a teammate, say, hey, go fetch. And more times than not, your player's able to get there first.
Touch pass to the outside for Hobble. And giving chase is Howard. Are they going to say he's onside? Yep, he's onside to the middle. And there is a beautiful assist for the goal. 30th minute. 3-0, Lionsbridge.
It was Howard on the right side, able to time his run perfectly, staying just barely onside as that pass came his way. Took a deflection off the defender, was able to pick it up, was making eye contact with the linesman, made sure that flag was down before sending in a curling cross, again, away from the goalkeeper, Bosfield. So he had to stay in his line, had to make sure that he wasn't caught cheating too far forward. And who else but number 10, Gabby Rodriguez, able to convert that one in the back of the net just before the hydration break.
Just in time for the hydration break. 31st minute. Everybody takes a break here, and we can talk about that amazing goal. Yeah, what smarts by Evan Howard. You could see him kind of creeping up towards that pass. Not sure if he was going to stay onside, but sure enough, he does. And at that point, I think the Ashland Town defense was sort of guessing themselves, wondering if he was onside, really didn't get back. It was a one-on-one battle for Rodriguez, wins it, and gets his 5th goal of the season.
Yeah, so a big goal for Rodriguez. And again, a great job by Howard. It almost seemed like as he was taking off the pace, the defenders figured that he was offside. So a little bit of hesitation to them. But you hear from a very young age, your coaches are always drilling into you. Play until the whistle, not just in soccer, but really in all sports, in basketball, football, everything like that. And the players here for Ashland Town defensively doing the exact opposite. They kind of gave up on the play gave it a little half effort, and that just gave Howard even more space. And then also Rodriguez figured if Howard's still going for it, I'm going to play until I hear the whistle. Makes a good run, center of the field, and a sliding little touch pass into the back corner of the goal.
While we have a chance, we're going to thank some of our sponsors. Tonight's game presented by Visit Newport News. Make the most of your game day. Discover epic eats, cool attractions, and breakthrough experiences at visitnewportnews.com. Also find them on Facebook and Instagram. Riverside Health System is the official sports medicine and athletic training provider for Lionsbridge FC. The club would like to thank our great partners at Riverside for keeping us moving. Peninsula Eye Care is an official sponsor of Lionsbridge FC, conveniently located on Highway 17 in Yorktown, Pennsylvania. Eye Care has been serving the Peninsula patients and its patients since 1990. Visit peninsulaeyecare.com to learn more as we are back in play here at the Bank. 33rd minute of play. And in the 33rd minute, it is a 3-0 Lionsbridge lead. So far, Evan Howard putting his name in the hat for our player of the game, our Riverside man of the match. Evan Howard with a goal to start things off and now has a beautiful assist. And again, we just cannot say enough how smart it was for him just to make sure he was onside, kind of lulled the defense to sleep. And it was Rodriguez on the receiving end to make it 3-0.
And also, not to mention the type of pass. Again, it was with a lot of spin on the ball, curling away from the goalkeeper to keep Bosfield on his line, give Rodriguez even better odds than trying to net that one in. And of course, speaking of Howard, he heads over to the sideline, and Isaiah Chisholm, the Yorktown player, takes his place before Howard can complete the Gordie Howe hat trick. Had an assist and had a goal. Thankfully, no scraps here tonight for anyone out on the field. Just a friendly match. But of course, seems like tensions can always seem to rise in a friendly contest, especially when it's very hot out on the field.
And it is very hot. Again, temperatures near 90 degrees when this thing got started. Close to 100 degrees, at least that's what it felt like today. I know that officially temperatures didn't get past 93 or so, but it certainly felt like summer out there. And a good tackle there, or at least they thought, for Ashland Town. Hobble hit the floor, and that will be a free kick, quickly put back in play by Lionsbridge. Also into the match, well, actually, excuse me, Marcelo Lopez was one of the starters, but he gets it back in play for Lionsbridge.
Of course, just that natural ambient air temperature, extremely hot in the sunlight, even hotter. And then down on the field, it almost is in this little bowl, so to speak, with the stands here at TowneBank Stadium. All the heat just seems to collect down at the center of the field, making it, it's like 10 to 15 degrees hotter than the stands and just outside in general once you get past the track.
Nathan Epstein, Austin Urch here at TowneBank Stadium on this beautiful Wednesday night. Again, another fantastic crowd here at TowneBank Stadium, even for a friendly. A lot of blue in the stands. You got the drums going, the vuvuzelas still blaring. And this time, one of the few times we can say all season is that ball gets right past Ricky Lewis and out of play. Throw-in coming for Ashland Town. Not a cloud in the sky, and that is not something we have been able to say too often this season for Lionsbridge. We've had Lionsbridge already had its home opener rained out. They had to play on the road once in a downpour. Last game was played 2 hours late because of storms. So even if it is a little bit hot out there, I think this is a welcome sight for every single player, coach, and fan here, knowing that we don't have to worry about any precipitation in the forecast.
Yeah, especially for goalkeeper Toby Mowers. He had his debut, his home debut, basically rained out. It was that opener against Grove United. But he's out here tonight again and getting his first start for Lionsbridge in front of these fans at TowneBank Stadium this season. Free kick awarded to Ashland Town. Just a bit too physical there for Lionsbridge.
So here's a question, Austin, and that is, normally during a friendly, this is the kind of result that if you're Lionsbridge, and not in any way trying to disrespect Ashland Town, just the level that they play at, this is maybe what you're expecting from Lionsbridge. That being said, the last couple of games, they have fallen short of their standards, so is this something that Chris Wally is going to be a little more pleased about, given the result here, and simply just given what we've seen on the pitch? Much cleaner, much more methodical.
And that's another thing right there as Chisholm goes inside the box, 18-yard box here, takes a shot, puts it off target to the left side, didn't even touch Bousfield. but it was a perfectly timed run from Chisholm. So it's going to be the things like that where it's making sure that you're staying on sides until the very last second. As soon as your midfielder or your defender passes that ball up, then you make your jump. You gun it, you shoot past the defender. So working on those little things, and not to mention, of course, the elephant in the room, those corner kicks for Lionsbridge.
Still have not been able to convert, but at least we did see one of them that looked a lot cleaner. Evan Howard able to get a header on it, a little bit off target, but still well executed. Some physical play, and that was Ackerman pulled down to the turf, and that results in a foul and a free kick coming for Lionsbridge. Foul on Felipe Torres.
Torres, a young player, just a bit too physical there and aggressive, giving away a free kick and somewhat dangerous opportunity here for Lionsbridge as they take this one quickly, and it seems like even the boys in blue weren't ready for that delivery from Ackerman.
Yeah, nobody really started moving when Ackerman put his foot on it.
It was a nice idea to try and catch the defense Ashland Town sleeping, but also a little bit too early for Lionsbridge to really understand what was going on. It's going to be a throw-in from Lionsbridge as they try and recoup the ball, and a couple more substitutes warming up over on the sideline. Potentially we'll see them coming in just before or right after halftime. As again, this contest here, just trying to make sure that everyone is fully fit coming into the contest this weekend, Saturday, June 21st.
A contest that you know a lot of players, fans are going to be looking forward to. Chisholm, deep in the box. Right foot on it and a fist pump after the goal! Isaiah Chisholm finds his way into the scoring book.
Pretty recently, typically it was Ricky Lewis over there. Lewis giving him a high five as well as Chisholm doing basically the same exact thing that Lewis has done all night. Be on the far side of the field, use his speed to get inside past the defender. And Chisholm shooting short side. Slide that one right by Bosfield, who got a hand on it, but it wasn't enough to stop that ball from winding up in the goal.
Isaiah Chisholm from Yorktown gets some of his hometown fans on their feet. His first goal of the season. No doubt he's been waiting for it. Came into this season with 8 goals in 27 games played for Lionsbridge, and it's in the 39th minute. Chisholm finally finds the back of the net.
A bit too physical there from Lincoln Ulrich. The Ohio defender is a little bit of retribution coming the other way from an Ashland Town defender, Dominic Williams. The referee letting Williams know that he saw the foul, and there certainly wasn't any need for a little bit of payback. Williams doing his best to perhaps say it was an accident or something like that. Not quite sure what the defense really is in that situation. Of course, another substitute came back out onto the field for Ashland Town, Mickey Aggie, one of the longest tenured players for Ashland Town FC.
Yep, played on the team back when it was first founded in 2020. Instead of putting into the box, gets it back into play. Some room to operate in up ahead. And that was for Dominic Williams. Still keeps it in play. Williams still with it. Give and go. Williams feeds. Box. Headed away. Believe that was Rodriguez who cleans it up.
Good look, though, for Ashland Town as they're beginning to apply a little bit of pressure. And we'll see if Lionsbridge, how long they can hold up as Maurer off his line to snag that one. To put a stop to anything that Ashland Town was building up. And again, that's so important for Maurer to just grab onto that ball, hold onto it, settle things down a little bit, and make sure that all the forwards from Ashland Town evacuate the attacking third of the field. Threaten to send that ball up towards midfield.
And speaking of pressure, Austin, how much pressure does this take off maybe some of the reserve players who were going to come into that second half? You can expect anyway, with a 4-0 lead now in the 42nd, approaching the 42nd minute here at TowneBank Stadium. chance for some of the reserves to play a little more free than they have been able to the last couple of games.
I think so, as Chisholm gets whistled off sides there. However, it could be a very worrying thing as well sometimes, because coach has already told you, hey, we don't need goals. Don't worry about that. I want you to focus on the small things, the routine every single day, what you should be working on in practice. Basically, like when you're a young kid and your coach tells you, yeah, do 50 wall balls before showing up to practice, do 50 wall balls at the hydration break halfway through practice, and then do 50 afterwards. So things like that, those everyday mundane things that seem like it isn't really paying off and you'd rather be taking free kicks, things like that. But making sure that your passing is precise and on point, you're dribbling, you know exactly where your teammates are, you have good communication. All those things are so crucial, especially when you're in those high pressure and big situation games. And you need to be firing on all cylinders.
Hobble still onside, and what a save, but the rebound almost put in by Chisholm. Chisholm was right there, point blank range, Bousfield out of position. Chisholm just could not put his foot on it the way he wanted to. And it's by that margin that Ashland Town escapes a 5-0 deficit.
And Chisholm just had that ball caught up under his feet, didn't get good contact on it like he wanted. And also Lewis over on the left side of the field wasn't close enough to really pressure as that ball rolled off of Chisholm's foot.
And Hobble, again, talking about smart play, Micah Hobble stayed onside. Very close, and this time feeds it in. Nobody there. Ricky Lewis saves it, but there was a whistle, and I believe there was a foul called, so, or at least it'll be a goal kick for Ashland Town. Not sure what the call was initially, but that was before the feed was sent in by Hobble.
It looked like it was on Chisholm for some off-the-ball contact, and Chisholm, certainly not a small frame out on the field, and loves to use his physical presence, just like Sam Hall, just like David Materazzi, and so many other of these Lionsbridge players. Lionsbridge playing a very aggressive style of soccer, very physical one, and usually pays off for them that time, just coming back to bite them a little bit. It's a good turn from Dalton Euling. Felt the contact on his back, moved out towards the wing, and miscommunication there between Chisholm and Rodriguez gives the ball over.
Great sliding tackle. No foul called. Up ahead to Chisholm. Again, he stays onside to the middle, and waiting for it was Marcelo Lopez, just a little bit out of his reach over the end line, but it does result in a corner attempt for Lionsbridge.
So another chance to have an opportunity to threaten another goal against Ashland Town, but more importantly, another chance for Lionsbridge to really try and find what's working for them here from these corner flags, or rather fix what hasn't been working for them.
Ackerman ready to put his foot on it. We're in stoppage time, 45th minute. Sent in, far post. Header looks like it was deflected, and it does result in another corner for Lionsbridge.
So a good look on the opposite side of the field. Another chance for Lionsbridge coming up. One taken by Andrew Goldsworthy. Potentially he'll be the next target. I think Sam Hall creating a lot of movement and really throw off defenses on these corner kicks. Potentially have Sam Hall make a near post run. Free up Chisholm on the back maybe.
This time near post and nearly put in. And I believe
that was Goldsworthy again.
Yeah. And that will be the end of the first half. A dominant showing by Lionsbridge. No doubt their best outing in a few games. A week following a 2-1 win over Richmond United, and just a few days after a disappointing draw against Charlottesville, it is a 4-0 lead for Lionsbridge over Ashland Town. 4 goals from 4 different players. And Austin, as you give your final thoughts before we head to halftime, I'd say this is what we've come to expect more so than not from Lionsbridge.
So it's been a great job by the boys in blue to really diversify their portfolio, so to speak. You had a goal from a penalty kick, you had one from the run of play, you had one from a defensive miscue, but again, you still don't have one from that set piece, really. So I'd like to see Lionsbridge and the reserves who are coming in the second half, I think we might see a wholesale change, basically almost like a complete line change from the NHL for Lionsbridge. So we'll see plenty of new names and a chance for them to really settle in and work on those smaller things. And again, try and find that elusive goal from a corner kick.
That might be the last NHL reference you can make because the season's officially over now. Either way, it's a 4-0 lead for Lionsbridge over Ashland Town. The boys in blue looking dominant in the first half. And we are going to go to break and come right back before the start of the second half here at TowneBank Stadium on a beautiful summer evening here in Newport News. Lionsbridge leads it 4-0 over the visitors from Ashland Town.
Okay, fans, it's time for that Lionsbridge halftime classic. It's the Chick-fil-A Kids Penalty Shootout. Please direct your attention to the goal near the festival area. These lucky 25 kids will try to score a goal against the Chick-fil-A Cow. If they score a goal, they'll win a prize from Chick-fil-A. Good luck, kids! Chick-fil-A Cow is in goal. Let's see how many goals can be scored here. Going for PK distance. It's in. Very deliberate attack and another score. Everybody's going in front of the penalty. The penalty kick out. Another one up and in. A big kick. Oh, but the Chick-fil-A Cows in goal. That one scores. Another score to the right side. Now to the left. Another to the left. It's a barrage. She's taking it close. And Tone's in for another goal. Another shot. Into the goal. This one still has a chance, and it is across the line. That one goes side net. Good kick there. Another one, top shelf. Another one hard into the back of the net. We've got a few scorers left. That one gets in with the assist. 2 balls in on that shot. Lockie might need to give that one another kick. There it is, it's in! Great job, kids. Okay, fans, it's time to score savings from Food Lion while helping your community. It's tonight's Food Lion shopping cart in. High Lockie gets shot goes a little deep. Someone trying to bounce it into the court. You can tell these are soccer fans, not basketball players. It's a couple more in under 4 minutes. Almost. Off the side of the mark. Great job, everybody. Tonight's winner will be contacted with Lockie. This is the we'll do it again next home game. We should have been on the ball at front gate while supplies last. And thanks to TowneBank for their support of Lionsbridge FC.
Let's go, buddy.
When I got my job at Food Lion, I learned you can also be a volunteer with Food Lion Feeds. So whether I'm unloading our donations or helping neighbors pick fresh produce, this what you're looking for? I say take the helping hand when you need it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And be the helping hand when you don't.
Bye. Bye.
Here to fill tables and hearts with hope. Food Lion Feeds, here for every moment.
It's time to get back out there. At Riverside Orthopedics, our specialists are committed to delivering high-quality care because your health and mobility are important to us. Riverside specializes in treating a wide variety of conditions, offering both surgical and non-surgical solutions, tailored to what is right for you. And we make things easy, giving you the knowledge you want to make your own choices and the orthopedic care you need to fit your schedule. We've got you covered. Riverside Orthopedic Specialist, always in motion.
It's all about bringing people together, and it's all about dogs.
Dog Day in the drive-thru is a day where we give back to our furry friends.
We hand toys out to dogs and their owners in the drive-thru.
My dogs love this event. Tails start wagging, the heads are out the window.
We also partner with local animal shelters to help dogs find their forever home.
Chick-fil-A knows the heart of the community. You meet new friends, you meet new dogs.
We just love seeing their faces in the drive-thru.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
As soon as you arrive, you'll see it in the people you meet and the way we follow through. At Bowditch Ford, your dealership experience will be one of total satisfaction. Our professional sales associates make buying easy, fast, and fun. And when it comes to service, experience better. From maintenance to repair to parts, collision, even our quick lane, we do it better. Your time is valuable and your dollars hard-earned. We'll take care of you. Bowditch Ford, a tradition of doing the right thing.
Great vision and healthy eyes are the goal at Peninsula Eye Care. Optometrists diagnose and treat many disorders of the eye and visual system and are a great addition to your healthcare team. We prescribe glasses, contact lenses, and medications to serve you. I'm Dr. David Buck, and if you're looking for a team that will care about you and is ready to listen, come see us at Peninsula Eye Care.
When the sun sets, Newport News turns up. Hit the town for live music, cold drinks, and electric vibes. Catch the game or dance the night away with friends. Chill with cocktails by the water or dive into late-night bites. The city's buzzing, where every night is its own adventure. This is Newport News After Dark.
A yard without mosquitoes is always the most popular yard in the neighborhood.
They're home! Scatter!
Homeowners, consider yourselves warned.
Again?
Mosquito Joe, outside is fun again.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I find things in life, like ordering more to save more off the Papa Pairings menu. It's all $6.99. We've got a brownie.
Why are you whispering?
We're making you Papa Pairings for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
One Life Fitness has something for everyone. From midday movers to sunset shakers. From powerful workouts to peaceful flows. From personal training to personal bests. Whatever your fitness journey, enjoy premium amenities with a supportive staff, all at an affordable price. That's why we're the best value in fitness. Go to onelifefitness.com to join today. One Life Fitness. Every journey welcome.
Hoops. They're everywhere, especially when it comes to banking. Lots of banks offer you big promises with their checking accounts, but there's always a hoop to jump through. At Langley, we don't like hoops. Our smart checking offers great features like getting your paycheck up to 3 days early, no monthly fees, and no minimum balances. No hoops, just straightforward banking with Langley. Open your smart checking account today.
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries. And home and auto insurance from State Farm. Combine and save.
In Newport News, talk to State Farm agent Jimmy Fay today.
And we welcome you back to TowneBank Stadium in Newport News in the heart of Christopher Newport University. The stadium lights at the bank are on. It's been a good night so far for Lionsbridge FC against Ashland Town. Lionsbridge with a 4-0 lead over the visitors. 4 goals from 4 different players. It all started with Evan Howard's goal in the 5th minute when the youngster in goal for Ashland Town. Ryan Bousfield just made a youngster mistake. He is obviously just graduated from Mills Godwin High School in Richmond, committed to Eastern Mennonite. And then the good times kept rolling for Lionsbridge. A penalty kick from Sam Hall, the all-time leading goal scorer in Lionsbridge history, in the 15th minute, gave Lionsbridge the 2-0 lead. And then a great assist from Evan Howard to Rodriguez. Later on made it a 3-0 goal or 3-0 lead, and finally Isaiah Chisholm, the youngster from Yorktown, nearby finally gets in the scoring book this season for the first time. Gets his first goal of the year, and that's where we stand. A 4-0 lead for Lionsbridge. Nathan Epstein alongside Austin Urch. And Austin, you know, we were talking about this being a friendly. It's a friendly after a couple of lackluster games against Richmond United and Charlottesville, the Charlottesville Blues, and especially with a heated rivalry coming up on Saturday against Virginia Beach. We were wondering how sharp this team was going to look, and so far, I'd say they've looked pretty sharp in the first 45 minutes of play.
It's a far cry from everything that we've seen from Lionsbridge in the last couple of contests here at TowneBank Stadium. As the second half substitutes come out onto the field, Josh Baker wearing the captain's armband, and some other notable names out there on the field. Andrew Bennett amongst them, and looks like Jason Perks. Number 12, Trey Barrett is Lionsbridge very nearly right out of the gate.
Talk about starting off with a bang, nearly a goal from just past the midfield line.
It's not too often you can try and take a shot from there, catch the goalkeeper sleeping. It's a free kick for Lionsbridge as I think that was Chisholm went down. First foul of the second half.
Given what we saw in the first half, what do you think the goals are going to be, no pun intended, for Chris Wally's group here in the second half?
I think the biggest goal is really just going to be get a goal from a corner kick or another set piece.
The box, and this one headed over the net by Matthias Ulrich. He had it point blank, just couldn't put it on target.
Not a ton of power behind it, tried to put it just under the bar and lofted it right over the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, though, a bit too much height on it. I think Lionsbridge is really just going to look for that goal from a set piece. It's something that I saw them working on before the match today. They were out on the field warming up. There was a lot of set piece corner kicks being taken by Lionsbridge, with a number of players out of the corner taking those kicks, just trying to find something that was working for them, and really nothing has been working in these last couple of contests. As Hatley goes down on the far side of the field, I think he's certainly going to be instrumental here in the second half to try and get something going for them. Not really sure if we'll see him too much from a set piece, as he's one of those smaller players, likes to use a lot of speed, but he could be the one that creates a chance in order for them to get that corner kick or that free kick.
Demetrius Leonoglu also in at defense as well. Here he is near side wearing number 21. Andrew Bennett, as Austin said, wearing number 18 on the far side, the all-time leading assist man in Lionsbridge history, alongside Jason Perks. Pretty much a whole new lineup. Matthias Ulrich is in. Isaiah Chisholm seems to be the only player, as Trey Barrett, another local product from Hampton, battling for the one-on-one and back in goal as well. And Trey Barrett, of course, who could forget his home opener last year when he notched a hat trick in his very first appearance on this field. And here he is near side wearing number 12.
And so that's the big thing you mentioned. Andrew Bennett out on the field here for the second half for Lionsbridge. He's typically been the player, the go-to guy for Lionsbridge when it comes to taking those corner kicks.
Isaiah Chisholm tries to outrun his man in the box. A nice feed, and Christian Hatley just cannot put it where he wants. Sails it over the crossbar.
That's a really frustrating miss for him as well as Chisholm. That work by Chisholm out on the wing to win the battle and then send in a great cross. Not a lot of power behind it. A perfect one, really, for Hatley. Hatley brings out his picnic basket, makes a meal of it, and sends that one into the sky.
And that one sails out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Lionsbridge. So far, Austin, it's sort of a 50-50 deal for Lionsbridge. On the one hand, we've seen some pretty good execution just now from Isaiah Chisholm, and we've also seen a header sent in that was almost put in by Ulrich. So that's two chances that Lionsbridge has had. The problem is that, and I get it, it's against Ashland Town, it's a friendly, they're already up 4-0, but again, those are the plays that you are expected to finish, no matter who is in front of you, no matter who's defending you, no matter who the visiting team is. Those are the plays that Chris Wally expects his guys to finish, and so far, they're 0 of 2 on pretty good looks in the second half.
There have been a number of chances in the first half that were almost guarantee shoo-ins for Lionsbridge that were either put to the side, put over the bar. And so, of course, you're getting these chances, but you're also passing up on great opportunities. And certainly, like you said, ones that you should not be missing and ones that you are expected to score on.
Throw in coming for Ashland Town.
Now we'll see how the Lionsbridge defense reacts again. First time for this squad out there today.
And that one almost knocked in, and Trey Barrett does the wise thing and just sends it out of play. Almost caught out of position there. Almost knocked in by a Lionsbridge player.
Looks like that one rolled off the goal side hip of Barrett.
And Ashland Town was not onside for that one. That was Carter Newman, another one of those Godwin graduates. And here comes Jason Perks giving chase. 3-on-3 opportunity as the Ashland defense resets. Baker has it deflected. And that ball knocked over the end line results in a corner. And here we go, Austin. We're going to get to see exactly if they can accomplish that one goal that you set out as we start things off here in the second half, and that is scoring on a corner kick.
Looks like it's going to be Baker who steps over to take this kick. Bennett close along beside him. They'll play it short.
Bennett takes the end line again, knocked out of bounds by Ashland Town. Another corner coming for Lionsbridge. 50th minute of play. Or no, they say it was knocked out by Lionsbridge. I thought it was deflected out by an Ashland player, and either way, it's sent back into play. Shane Roach with it.
It looks like it took an awkward bounce there, a surprising one off a Lionsbridge foot. However, Lionsbridge able to get the ball back. But I do just want to bring to attention how that counterattack started for Lionsbridge, and it was from the goalkeeper, Toby Maurer, who really threw that ball out towards his bench, basically. Almost like a line drive right to Hatley over on the wing, who then fed it up to Perks down the wing. So it was a great counter from Lionsbridge and something you really want to see. Great vision from Maurer, able to find that pass, and of course the skill as well to put the pass on the mark on the far side of the field.
A beautiful evening here in Newport News, and as hot as it was today, this is what you love most about summer, is this time of night, about 8:20, still the sun is in the air, the stadium lights taking effect, but it is picture perfect as far as temperature outside. Of course, for the boys in blue and the guys on the pitch, it may be a little bit hotter than what we're feeling up here. Either way, it is a very pleasant evening. Looking other side for Trey Barrett, well defended by Ashland. Nice sliding tackle, that by Dimitrios Leonoglu.
And it's a very difficult one to time perfectly, especially as one of the last defenders there, as Lionsbridge was on the attack, had to quickly transition. But he got that one exactly right, able to knock that ball out of play, not just slowing down the attack, but also knocking it out of bounds, giving more time for his midfielders to come back and help out.
Free kick coming for Ashland Town.
Another chance for Ashland Town FC to try and create something for themselves, as they've had a couple of opportunities to test the Lionsbridge defense, especially in the first half. Really nothing going there.
And that blue wall just kind of giving way for Maurer to snag it right out of the air. Hasn't put his hands on it too much tonight, and that is a credit to this tenacious Lionsbridge defense. They have really been the aggressor all night long. Maurer has not really had to do much, Austin.
Good pass from Dominguez over to Bennett as he sends it up the line to Barrett inside the box.
Barrett still with it. Nice feed to the middle. And Hatley just wide. Hatley loves these friendly matchups. We've seen him find the back of the net several times this year and almost found it for a 5-0 Lionsbridge lead, but it was deflected, and it does result in a Lionsbridge corner.
So here's that second corner kick that they're looking for. Last time it was a short pass to Bennett. Then Baker over to take the kick.
Wearing that captain's band. This time he sends it in, far post, and well defended. Hatley still keeps it in play, but now it's chased down by Carter Newman. One-on-one battle, and a Tenacious chase by Christian Hatley wins it. And it's a throw in for Lionsbridge, quickly back in play.
Newman had the pressure on his back from Hatley, and that just forced a miscue. Too much power behind the ball to get it out in front of him. Wasn't able to get there in time to corral it inside the far sideline. Now Lionsbridge trying to set up another chance to go forward. So many white jerseys, though, as Ashland Town content to just bring their forwards and drop them back into the formation, make the midfield almost impassable for Lionsbridge.
At one point, it looked like there was about 8 defenders there. Oh, quickly in the box. Point blank, back of the net. Lionsbridge goal!
Great job to find the ball and find himself in good space out in the field. Not too many defenders nearby him. One touch to send it out in front of him, and another touch to finish it into the goal.
Mateus Ulrich missed out on a header opportunity, and this time lets his left foot take care of business. Mateus Ulrich with his first goal of the season. The scoring book is starting to fill up now for Lionsbridge. A number of players are getting in on the act, and it's a 5-0 Lionsbridge lead. That goal scored just shy of the 55th minute.
We keep beating that drum of what's coming up next for Lionsbridge, and it's again that big contest on June 21st against Virginia Beach United. Lionsbridge currently tied at the top of the division with 18 points, tied with Nova FC. That'd be another big chance to pick up 3 points and try and push themselves back into the lead, which is where they were initially. For that last draw really slowed things up for them.
Reminder, there will be a hydration break at the 75th minute, so we're about 20 minutes away from that. As Josh Baker sets up for the free kick. 5-0 Lionsbridge lead. 5 different players capped off by number 5, who scored the 5th goal. Let's see what number 7 can do. Baker, back post, over everybody.
Nice idea to try and find something on the backside of the field. However, too much power behind it. Difficult to try and drop that ball in right on top of the 6-yard box corner. However, like you were saying, a number of different goal scorers here for Lionsbridge ahead of another big game, and I think that can really do a lot for the overall morale of the team, especially after a couple tough contests here at TowneBank Stadium. They'll have one more at home. Chisholm off sides, as he's really got to time those better. Had a couple really good timings in the first half. However, this time getting caught out just a little bit by the defense. But when everyone is scoring in those friendly contests, picking up assists, putting points on the board, it really just is a big morale boost to everyone on the squad. And you just go into the next contest with so much confidence. However, sometimes, as we saw earlier in the game and also earlier in the season, sometimes a little too much confidence isn't necessarily the best thing for you.
Well, it's definitely can be said that Lionsbridge hit a little bit of a lull the last 2 games, but of course, you know, it's maybe to be a little bit expected when you play a friendly against Richmond United. You seldom use or did not use very many of your starters. Here comes Josh Baker, stays onside, tripped up just a little bit, not nearly enough for a penalty inside the box. But definitely hit a lull against Richmond United and the Charlottesville Blues. But obviously tonight looking more like the dominance that we have come to see here at TowneBank. Here's Ulrich looking for another goal, just flicks it up ahead, and Isaiah Chisholm cannot find it. Nobody guarding him could not put the header in.
And no one even going up to try and challenge for that header. Couldn't convert. Last time we saw a similar style of play for Lionsbridge, or a similar scoreline at least, it was that big 11-2 win against the Virginia Marauders. And then after that, it was a couple tough showings for Lionsbridge. They struggled to get back into the win column. And then when they did win, they struggled to do it emphatically. We'll see if they're able to right the ship after this friendly contest coming up this weekend. Of course, they'll still have to get there, and can't ever overlook an opponent that you're playing. I think the last thing Wally will want is the team to concede 1 goal or maybe more than that.
Barrett trying to feed it to Ulrich, who kind of gives him a little bit of a stare. As you said, some miscommunication there. Maybe he wasn't quite ready for it. Ulrich kind of stopped in his tracks as we approach the 60th minute of play, and this has been all Lionsbridge from the start. First goal in the 5th minute, and the most recent goal just shy of the 55th. And that ball almost sent in, and what a save by the youngster Ryan Bousfield.
It's not too often that you get called to action 2 times in a row consecutively like that. Bousfield doing a really good job to make the initial save, or at least punching it away from the goal mouth, quickly getting up on his feet and being ready to make a second stop.
That's where all those up-downs come in handy. He was caught pretty much out of position. I thought that was going to be a surefire Lionsbridge score, but good on the youngster from Godwin High School, the graduate headed to Eastern Mennonite. Here comes Trey Barrett on the move. Barrett with a shot, and that one is deflected by Bousfield.
A great job by Bousfield again, putting his knee down, making sure that nothing goes between the wickets, keeping another Lionsbridge shot out of the goal.
Talk about some great experience for Ryan Bousfield as he'll head to Eastern Mennonite next year. You're not going to get much better competition than facing Lionsbridge FC here tonight. And obviously it's been tough for the youngster, but he's certainly made some plays here in the last few minutes as well.
And as a goalkeeper, you usually aren't expected to save them all, and just save the ones that you can get to and some of the ones that you shouldn't be able to get to. Doing a nice job, though, saving a couple that typically you aren't really expecting a goalkeeper to make those saves.
Atley feeds it. Ulrich missed on the header.
I think Ulrich missing that header kind of threw off Chisholm's timing a bit. Wasn't expecting the ball to come to him so soon, and a Lionsbridge defensive error. That one skipping up and catching the arm of Lovett. Kept it by his side, though, so referee says play on.
Jason Perks with all kinds of room. He'll slow things down a little bit, and kind of looking at what we've been seeing here the last couple of possessions here, Austin, and that is a lot of the mids drifting backwards, trying to sort of create a wall. Andrew Bennett, the feet on the inside, and this one is a tap-in goal. Christian Hatley.
Christian Hatley, a player with a ton of speed, and he's really able to utilize that. We saw that there, shooting right past the defenders on a good through ball. Creates some penetration inside the 18-yard box. Making a little nifty move to skip around the goalkeeper. Putting that one calmly into the back of the goal, and that's exactly what you want to see. A cool, calm, and finish. We've seen too many shots go awry already here from Lionsbridge at such short range.
Christian Hatley, his first goal since Richmond United a week ago.
There's a big goal for Hatley against Richmond United, just putting that game out of reach against the visitors. And another one of those somewhat lackluster performances for Lionsbridge, something that we were a bit unaccustomed to seeing, especially here in front of home fans. In that contest, it seemed like Hatley was the only one really trying and pushing forward in the second half when he came on as a substitute, trying to make anything happen, and he was able to convert, pick up that goal, gets another one here today.
Only his second goal of the season. Last week it was his first, and it was the game winner against Richmond United. That came in the 60th minute. So 60th minute seems to be Christian Hatley time.
Absolutely. There's certain players, and they're known for having big moments in big games at certain points of the games. Certainly think of some very clutch NBA shooters. Of course, there's that question that always seems to make its way around the friend group. If you had one player to take the shot in the last second, who's going to take it? If you had a player to take a shot in the 60th minute, who else but Hatley?
Up ahead, Maurer has to go down to get it. No trouble. And actually, beg your pardon, we have a new goalkeeper in. Ethan Chenoweth is in for the first time tonight. Sorry about that. Didn't see the switch that took place, but it is Ethan Chenoweth, local product from Newport News, and a good counterattack. And this one's put in the back of the net. And who else? Hatley, within mere minutes of one.
Hatley's really having himself a day here. 2 goals, 2 minutes. Not too often that you get cheered for double dipping like that, but Hatley doing a really nice job, making an impact, and I think that's certainly something that Chris Wally has noticed earlier in the season, and then also especially here tonight. I have no doubt in my mind that Wally has Hatley in the back of his pocket, kind of as one of those super subs later on down the line.
And you hear this substitution call. Ethan Chenoweth in goal now, and you got to give a sort of an assist to Chenoweth there, trying to get the counterattack started quickly.
It's strange to say sometimes, but sometimes your goalkeeper can be the best weapon when you are starting a counterattack. We saw it earlier in the game, and it was a laser bullet pass from Maurer inside his own box over to the far side of the field to really start a counterattack. You see one there from Chenoweth to make something happen for Lionsbridge, as he's well outside of his box, off on a little bit of an adventure, but with no pressure coming his way. Why not go out for a little jog? I love it playing keep away here with Leon Oglu. And it working the ball up the field. Turning towards the center. He'll get a second look at things. Trying to find Baker in the middle. Unsuccessful.
We've seen a few hat tricks already this year, and Christian Hatley, you got to wonder if he's getting hungry for that third goal, giving chase towards the end line. Perks could not make clean contact. Pretty good defense there by Ashland Town to prevent what would have been the 8th goal, and I think that is something that Ashland Town can at least hang their head on just a little bit here. It's been a rough night for Ashland Town, so any goal prevented is a good defensive play for Ashland Town.
That's exactly the mindset that you have to have coming forward in these games. Is Barrett inside the box, sends a delivery to the middle. All too easy for Lionsbridge. Another one on the board.
And the furious flurry has definitely started here in the 60th minute here. We have seen 3 quick goals since the 60th minute. Boy, oh boy, it is now 8-0. They are putting our scoreboard operator to work here.
Denis Krioutchenkov there, registering that one. He had the ball in towards the docks for Perks on that last attack. This time able to find himself a goal.
6th goal of the season for Denis Krioutchenkov. Only one shy of the lead that now belongs to Felix Ewald, who is not in the lineup tonight.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Krioutchenkov's first goal since his free kick goal against the Annapolis Blues.
Put some defensive pressure there on Trevor Moyer.
Now here for Lionsbridge, you know you've got the goals and the game is pulled well out of reach. It's an important time to just make sure that you continue to do the small things well. Your passing is on point, as Chenoweth called into a little bit of action there as the ball came his way. Top pursuit was Carter Newman for Ashland Town.
Damian Dominguez is in as well, along with Harry Lovett.
These last couple of attacks for Lionsbridge, they've done a really nice job of moving the ball up the field with possession. And of course, Ashland Town not really being the most aggressive on defense for fear of opening up their formation and giving away free balls for Lionsbridge. Lionsbridge doing a nice job playing patiently, and I think that's really a big thing, that when you're faced with a defense who doesn't want to come out of its shell too much.
Oh, what a beautiful feed up ahead. Perks almost had a clean look at it. It's an 8-0 lead for Lionsbridge as we approach the 69th minute of play. This has been Lionsbridge dominance from the very start of things.
So we'll see a couple of substitutes for Lionsbridge coming into the game. Grady Morello in for the first time this season. And then also Casey Johnson coming into the contest.
Grady Morello, another local product. This is his hometown, so this has got to feel pretty special for the youngster from Newport News, from right here. Baker, Ulrich, and now to the wide side of the field with an 8-0 lead for Lionsbridge. It's Hatley. One more goal. He's got a hat trick. And a header almost put in. A beautiful assist from Hatley.
And Hatley doing a really nice job on the far side of the field. Has his speed, of course, but a lot of skill on the ball. Can make some space for himself very easily when he finds himself in a one-on-one situation. Over on the wing, seeing plenty of crosses coming, being delivered from him.
And that was Toddy Gutierrez who got the header off, just a little bit wide of the target. Barrett, a little spinorama, back to Baker. Give and go, beautiful ball movement. And Barrett just takes a swipe at it right into the arms of Bousfield in the 70th minute.
He was looking for Krioutchenkov at the top of the formation. Bousfield, though, really good eyes to pick that pass out, recognized that there was a potential dangerous pass coming his way, coming off his line quickly to lay claim to that. Hydration break in a couple of minutes coming up around the 75th minute, whenever that next opportunity presents itself.
Hatley had to slow up. It was Hatley against Bousfield who got to it just in time. Had he not, then Hatley was looking at a hat trick.
Here we'll see a yellow card be handed out to Lionsbridge in the 72nd minute. Just a late and kind of unnecessary tackle over on the far side of the field, just in front of the Lionsbridge bench.
Something that we've seen, though, Austin, and it should come as no surprise to anybody here, that Chris Wally has told his guys to not let up, and this is something that is part of the standard here. If you're on the pitch, you're going to give 100% effort no matter what the score is, no matter who the opponent is.
And I think that also goes into having respect for the opponent. It almost feels disrespectful at times, especially being on the receiving end when a team isn't giving you their best. Yes, of course, the game is well out of reach, but if you're kind of stooping down and playing to their level, toying with them in a sense,
yes,
it's very disrespectful, I think, and something that doesn't belong out on the field.
100% agree. Ulrich, feed up ahead to Barrett, stays on side, feed to the middle. Nobody home. Baker puts a foot on it, sails it over everything.
Another good look for Lionsbridge. Good sequence on the near sideline. Baker again. Plenty of time and space to shoot. Takes a one-touch effort, which is certainly fine by me. However, again, skying that one, putting it up in the air. Leaning too far back, a bit too overeager. Just try and put that one on target.
Krioutchenkov had a goal just a few minutes ago. Awkward angle, sails it to the other side, out of reach, out of play. And at the 73rd minute, throw in for Ashland Town.
Good job by Lionsbridge winning these 50-50 balls in the air, and that's something that Wally and the coaching staff will certainly have their eyes on. Is that's another way to make sure that your players are certainly giving their maximum effort, trying to go for every 50-50 ball, even if it seems like a losing battle potentially, like the other player's going to get there first. Still put in the effort, make sure that you're giving it your all every time you step out onto the field.
I think that's a great point, by the way, about showing respect for your opponent by going 100% no matter what the score is. I think you're right. I think it shows disrespect to an opponent if, like you said, you start toying with them.
And here, so Lionsbridge very nearly caught out, and Aggie on the right side of the formation for the visitors. Ashland Town putting pressure on Lovett, and Lovett not necessarily folding under the pressure, but certainly feeling it there. Had to try and go back towards his goalkeeper, Chenoweth, who then felt the subsequent pressure from Aggie. Fortunate to get a goal kick from it, though. Now we see Lionsbridge moving up the field, and their methodical passing, these lofted through balls past the defenses. Hatley able to run onto this one, perfectly weighted, keeps it in play. The defender right on his back.
And that's deflected out of play by Gutierrez.
Looks like we'll see our hydration break here as the players make their way over to the sidelines. And I certainly would say that the hydration breaks are worth it, working and worth it, as when it gets so hot out on the field, we typically see a lot of players going to the ground cramping, especially in the later stages of the contest. Nothing really to see like that here today. Had a couple players stretching out early on, but of course, typically when the game's just getting underway, you're still warming up a bit, getting into the mix of things.
All right, while we have a minute, we are in the 75th minute, and it is Lionsbridge well in control, might be an understatement. 8-0. Lionsbridge leads it. Certainly their best outing in a few games after a 2-1 win over Richmond United and a 3-3 draw against the Charlottesville Blues. So, Austin, I made a little help on this one as we try and recap exactly who's getting in on the scoring act here. Obviously, it started off in the 5th minute with Evan Howard knocking in a goal after the mistake from the youngster in goal, and that would be Ryan Bousfield. And then Sam Hall puts in his 4th goal of the year on a penalty kick. And then after that, it was, well, Isaiah Chisholm actually put in the 4th goal of the first half, and the 3rd goal, Rodriguez on the feed from Evan Howard. So that's 4 goals in the first half, and then in the second half, really it's been the Christian Hatley show, who put in 2 of the 4 that we've seen here.
2 minutes apart, 63rd minute and then 65th. And had a little bit of help from Mateus Ulrich in the 56th, and then recently Krioutchenkov in the 67th. So in terms of goal scoring, it's been 8 goals across 2 halves so far. So a really balanced game for Lionsbridge, not too heavy offensively on one side or the other. And I think that just speaks to how they've been able to create pressure all throughout the contest. You mentioned it early, Howard getting that first goal in the 6th minute. Them never really letting their foot off the gas. Nice job by Barrett, tiptoeing across the end line, keeping the ball in play.
That was a brilliant job by Barrett to keep that in play. I think the last centimeter of that ball stayed in play, and Lionsbridge is still fighting for it. Gutierrez lost it in the 76th minute over the end line, and that'll be a goal kick for Ryan Bousfield in Ashland Town. So we have a minute. Chance to thank a few of our sponsors. Thank you from Food Lion for scoring meals for local families during today's halftime contest. For every ball that made it into the cart, 100 meals will be donated to the Virginia Peninsula Food Bank through Food Lion Feeds.
So that's another fun event here at TowneBank Stadium that goes on even during halftime. The shopping cart gets pulled from one end line basically to the other across the stands, and fans have an opportunity to try and toss a little soccer ball into the shopping basket as it moves along. I mean, really it is nonstop action from even before the first whistle to the final whistle. You have bounce houses, food trucks, beer tents as well. Gates opening up at 5 p.m.
And the fans have been here, and they have been loud. And look, we talked about it last game, a game that we had to wait 2 hours for the start of, a game that was scheduled on Saturday for 7 o'clock, but because of all the storms in the area, we had to wait for a 9 o'clock start. And even then, we had a number of Lionsbridge fans out here still making noise, wearing ponchos, bringing the umbrellas, doing whatever they can to spur their team on. And boy, did they need every bit of it, given the 3-3 draw, saving 1 point for Lionsbridge in the standings. And Trey Barrett still fighting for it, and here comes Ulrich in the box. Left foot on it, and there's Bousfield with a nice diving save. Now he is over the end line. What are they going to say?
Wasn't able to get down in time and put his body behind the ball. He dug out of the back of the net. Ulrich getting credit for another goal.
All right, so there it is. So Ulrich now with 2 goals. I thought Bousfield made the save, but as you said, Austin, over that goal line, so it goes down as a goal. We now have 2 players on the pitch with 2 goals. It's Ulrich and Hatley.
Whether that's just goalkeeper Bousfield's inexperience coming into play again, or maybe just a bit of fatigue after facing the firing squad from Lionsbridge tonight. Wasn't able to get down in time, and it's really almost a tenet of goalkeeping. You want to get your body behind the ball so that if your hands can't make the save, your body is there able to make that second stop, or at least give yourself a chance for your hands to pick up the rebound.
Just beautiful ball movement up ahead. Baker has hands on him, Denis Krioutchenkov, and now who's Gutierrez to the middle, and it's deflected, still in play, and Ashland Town sends it away. Gutierrez got very close to that 6-yard box. Just couldn't find some space, and now it's worth noting, with about 10 minutes and some change left in this contest, the single game record for a Lionsbridge club they set this year, and they set it on the road against the Virginia Marauders in a 11-2 takedown on the road. Now Lionsbridge will be 2 goals away from matching that. Can Barrett get one of them here? Feed to the middle, Krioutchenkov. Well defended there by Ashland Town FC, and Matthew Gavin there stepped right in front of Krioutchenkov.
Gavin doing a nice job tying up Krioutchenkov, just mixing things up as Aggie goes down on the field for Ashland Town. He's the first one to be slowed up by the cramps coming on. But again, like you mentioned, a really lovely sequence from Lionsbridge, doing a really great job passing and staying in their formation, giving themselves enough space to then make some moves, make some runs, and have those passing lanes open and be very confident in where their pass is going. They know that their players have speed, they can run onto the ball, and they know where each other are going to be out on the field. And there's just a lot of cohesion for them, and I think it's going to pay dividends this weekend when they're facing a tough opponent in Virginia Beach United.
You know the energy level is going to be amped up for that one, and Virginia Beach United, when Lionsbridge first started playing, if we're being honest, wasn't as competitive of a series that it's become, and Bousfield steps in front of it, and Krioutchenkov nearly had his second goal of the match.
Good job by Krioutchenkov, just turning and taking a shot. Speaking of, Johnson here forcing another save out of Bousfield.
Here's Ulrich staying with it over the end line. Goal kick coming for Ashland Town. Yeah, a series against Virginia Beach United that wasn't always that competitive. Lionsbridge started that series off really in command, and since then, Virginia Beach has continued to get better and better and better as a ball club, and we have seen a number of fantastic games. Obviously, the first game of the season ended in a draw, and so we're going to wait and see what Lionsbridge has in store for their Virginia Beach rivals when the two match up on Saturday right here at 7 o'clock at the Bank. It should be a good one.
I think it's really exciting to see that growth both from Virginia Beach United and also Lionsbridge, because it seems like every time Lionsbridge opens up their season with Virginia Beach United, it's a tough contest away from home for the boys in blue on the other side of the water. And then they know exactly what they need to bring at home in front of their fans. And their fans, they kind of use that as a big advantage to spur them forward, as Barrett, just barely offsides, couldn't keep the ball towards himself. It wouldn't have really mattered regardless. But again, it's the small things like that that Wally's really going to pick apart here from this contest. Of course, 9-0 is the scoreline. I don't want to say that you knew you were going to win this game, but you knew you'd have a good chance at winning this contest if you were playing your best game of soccer, in Lionsbridge really doing that here. Rather a very good version of it. Not quite their best, as they still have a lot to work on.
They still have some corner kicks to work on, I think, Austin.
100%. They give away another foul there. Only 2 corner kicks in the second half, 4 in the first half. So 6 opportunities to try and snap that scoreless streak for them from the corner flag. And now it's up to 25, if I'm not mistaken. 25 plus corner kicks without scoring a goal for Lionsbridge. Maybe we'll see another one here, potentially coming up in the last 10 minutes or so of this game. Far side of the field, Krioutchenkov can't keep it in play. He's beaten to the ball first by the defender, Juan Posada. Another one of those really young players for this Ashland Town.
And if this score were to hold, it would be their first shutout since the start of the month in a 2-0 win at Annapolis. And that's something that I think that Chris Wally will hang his hat on as well, as not only the offensive output for this one, but defensively as well. Now, granted, it feels like Ashland Town was simply outmatched in this one. So obviously not too much stock put in that if you're Chris Wally, as a new goaltender is set to come into this one for Ashland Town. Ryan Bousfield, the youngster, had a tough night tonight, but you know what? It was a learning experience for him, and I'm sure he'll take what he can, and he still managed to make a few good saves sprinkled in there, playing against one of the best offenses in Lionsbridge FC. Not much you can do about it.
And there, the first time he gets his number called, he's able to come out, claim the ball, put some solid, strong hands on it. Prevent any damage or any further damage from Lionsbridge, as quick throw-in from Leon Oglu inside their own half. Love it resets.
And the goalkeeper for Ashland Town FC will be Colby Campbell, youngster from Patrick Henry High School, and one of the homegrown players on this team from Ashland.
We talked about the youth that they have on their squad, and it's really exciting when you have a homegrown player to see them grow up almost right in front of you and just continue to improve year after year, and then potentially when it comes time to grow up, move on to the big leagues, and whatever that may be, whether it's moving up to USL2, getting drafted in the MLS draft, or potentially even playing in the MLS, or maybe even abroad across on the other side of the water.
Lionsbridge also looking for their 4th shutout win of the season.
That's been another thing that Lionsbridge has really had to try and focus on, ensuring that they're having a very strong defensive game, especially when they're having a very potent offensive one too.
Great turn and go from Barrett, but great defense there by Ashland Town to recover. Krioutchenkov to the box! Oh, it's Hatley with the hat trick! Hatley slides in off the assist from Krioutchenkov and dials up his 3rd goal of the night.
Now spin on it to curl away from the defender, putting it just where Hatley can reach, able to use his speed, get out there first. Just put a good finishing touch on the ball. Didn't have to do much to put enough power to get it past the goalkeeper, but had to have a very strong touch. His first touch had to be perfect since it was his only one, and certainly it was.
Third game this year with a Lionsbridge hat trick. How about it? We've seen Felix Ewald, the youngster, with a hat trick earlier this season. We've seen Evan Howard in that 11-2 win over the Virginia Marauders. And now Christian Hatley with his 4th goal of the season, his 3rd of the game. Lionsbridge sends it away and prevents any further threat against Chenoweth. 87th minute.
That was a good clearance by Dominguez. The pressure was coming inside the 18 as Hatley continues to move down the other direction. And of course, when you have that 11-2 contest that Lionsbridge played against the Marauders, and I would think that that's a very comparable one, a comparable one to this. I would say that this was a better showing from Lionsbridge. You have a stronger defensive game, and I think that's more important than necessarily having a higher goal total out on the field.
Could we see 2 hat tricks? Here's Ulrich. Remember, he has 2. Right now with 10 goals, you got to wonder if Lionsbridge, on one hand, they could be content just to walk off the pitch and celebrate a dominant win over Ashland Town, or they can try to match what would be a club record 11 goals in one game, which they've already done once this year. And a threat quickly quieted there. That was Hayden Wood looking for space in the box. And again, fantastic defense, as has been the case all night long. About 1:15 left of regulation here at TowneBank Stadium. kids here at TowneBank in the stands starting to line up the stands as they do every home game here, waiting for those autographs. And you got to think that the players heading over to see those kids and to sign those autographs are going to be a little bit happier tonight than they have been the last 2 games.
And that game against the Charlottesville Blues, it almost felt like it was a, hey, at least we didn't lose, I guess, sort of mentality when the players came over to the sideline. But of course, a lot of them still doing a really good job in showing the professionalism and maturity, not letting the results of the game impact or damper the relationship that they have with building with the young fans. You know, certainly the young fans love to hear about the game and see it from a really unique perspective that you don't get a lot of opportunities to do so. Having local soccer players who play at a high level be up close and personal, and I don't want to say basically talk to you about your day, but when you also can host these Lionsbridge players in your house, it's a very unique experience, and I think it does nothing but bolster that relationship they have with the community.
Here's Hatley, feeds it into Perks. Was looking for that club record matching 11th goal and nearly got it as the clock hits 90 minutes. Can't imagine there's going to be too much stoppage time. Thankfully, we haven't seen any injuries. Nothing worth speaking of course, other than a few hydration breaks. We've seen 10 goals, obviously. We're going to wait and see what the official word is. Can't imagine it's going to be too much here. Maybe a minute. Either way, a dominant showing. Hat trick from Christian Hatley with his 4th goal of the year, 3 in 1 game, and look at him still motoring. Still churning and burning. How about 4? Christian Hatley still finds the back of the net.
Really nice job when it starts raining. It really starts pouring for him. 2 goals in 2 minutes at 2 separate times in this contest. 87th minute, 90th minute, and of course the 63rd and the 65th. Basically back-to-back goals for Hatley. He is really having himself a night. I mentioned his speed, and that was basically all speed and ball control, keeping the ball out in front of him just enough so that he could maintain his speed without getting his feet caught up underneath him. Hatley doing a great job and really putting the exclamation point on an emphatic Lionsbridge victory.
Lionsbridge ties a club record with 11 goals in 1 game, led by 4 goals from number 11, as coincidentally enough as it is, Christian Hatley with 4 goals in 1 game. And all you can say is dominance from Lionsbridge in an 11-0 win over Ashland Town FC. And Austin, I'm not sure there's much more we can say here. There's not much more we can add to this one other than this is what you want to see heading into a rivalry USL League 2 Chesapeake Division matchup on Saturday.
Lionsbridge, when they're on their game, they're one of the best teams in the country, and there aren't very many people who are going to argue that point. And if they do, they're going to point to a couple of the previous games. I think this is a good launching point for Lionsbridge to build momentum the weekend, the second half of this season, and begin to really try and gear up for that playoff push.
Fans at TowneBank Stadium got their money's worth tonight with 11 goals and 4 from Christian Hatley. It has been a blast bringing this one to you. And on Saturday, buckle up. It's a division rival, a crosstown rival, and it'll be Virginia Beach United and Lionsbridge FC from right here at TowneBank Stadium. Austin Urch will have the call. We look forward to seeing you then. For Austin Urch, for the incredible staff here at Lionsbridge FC, for everybody watching, thank you so much for being a part of this. It is 11-0 Lionsbridge with a win over Ashland Town. We will see you on Saturday night from TowneBank Stadium. Good night.